I'm here. Bear with me 1 second. Rawr. I got distracted. Best thing to do when you start your stream. Super busy. Oh. Bear with me a couple of seconds. Start properly. Feel free to ask anything you want on the stream. Question in brackets. The Star Citizen stuff is probably the best choice. Do that. Let's do this. No, let's not do that. Ha! Don't worry about the sounds. Okay, that's all normal. There we are. That's fine. It's okay, it's Chris Roberts here. Didn't see anything behind there. Me moving stuff out of the room. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm BoredGamer. We're doing a stream. We're gonna be chatting. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions you want. I am tired. We'll see how long we're streaming for today. It probably won't be a huge amount of time. I mean, it's never longer than an hour anyway, is it? Really? There's a lot of stuff we're waiting for on Star Citizen at the moment. There's a lot going on. Like, we are marching towards 4.0. We're waiting for 3.23.2 with that big cargo patch, and we should go to Eva Cardi potentially even later today. 3.23.1a and the XenoThreat is supposed to be running. We're waiting on that to deploy. Again, that could be super early this week. And some people are a bit annoyed about it still not being on the live servers. But it's just there are problems. They're solving them, and they're trying to get it in the best state they can. I don't think it's causing any form of delay for 3.23.2, though. Well, at least the any delays to that are pretty much unrelated. There's a lot of people think that it's directly related. I don't think so now. Looking into it in a bit more detail, and the fact that they'd happily run 3.23.2 Eva Carti just goes to sort of show that it's not ready for Eva Carti yet, but it should be soon. Should be ready real soon. 3.23.2. Sorry, a bit of a ramble today. I am in the midst of a house move, so I'm still packing stuff up. I've got probably, I'd say, 50% of the stuff required to be packed, and lots of stuff pretty well organized. Some of the stuff that I want to pack, I won't pack until the day before I go. Thank you very much for the kind words. Genuinely appreciated. Thank you. Do you think there should be more food items available to eat in game now? So there will be with Pyro Playground. Had new food items, including delicious grubs. What are you messaging me for? What do you want? Just my smartwatch, being a smart ass. Yeah. So there will be more food items once 4.0 comes along. I see what you mean. That you would expect more by now, like loads and loads. But they'll expand out by landing zone probably, because they go, what stalls and what food do they sell here? And you get a load more with Pyro. So with 4.0. Have you trademarked the name BoredGamer? I only ask because I believe I tuned into your doppelganger. because 3.23.1 is crashes so much. I'm officially a board gamer. Well, that is a shame. But BoredGamer is my my limited company, and they are traded business names. They're covered in the UK law. So I understand you're allowed to be a board gamer, but it would have to be a lowercase b. So yeah, there are certainly problems with 3.23.1 at the moment. Well, at least 3.23.1a, and they're trying to get the stuff solved. XenoThreat. It is a little annoying. Hello. When you Star Citizen pledged in 2019, I mean, quite new. It's 5 years. Only started playing at the end of 3.22. Okay, but not new to software development, and this all feel right at home. So interesting with the more modern Star Citizen audience. So if you've joined from 3.22 onwards, you've only experienced what you'd deem standard for like a Steam early access gamer, maybe, or something a bit further along. So I've been covering Star Citizen late 2014, early 2015. So it's changed a lot since the development of the game. So you've come in at a good time, because they are significantly closer to the end of the road than they were at the start of development ages and ages ago. But you're seeing sort of big moves and big patches and actual tangible gameplay, and a significantly more playable Star Citizen than we had. Yeah, and if you missed out 3.18, which was the patch of discontent where it was just broken, you couldn't play the game. Yeah, it's Star Citizen is making moves now. Good moves as well, not bad moves. For the most part, I mean, there's lots of stuff that is debatable with like master modes and things like that. But I'd say, especially with like master modes and that sort of direction, give it some time to cook. I like the direction. I just don't like the current vehicle. Why can't you remember any of your great questions during showtime? Write them down. You've got a computer. Write them down on the computer. What are Big Benny's noodles really made out of? Probably insect sort of protein. I know they'll be made of wheat and stuff. They'll noodle recipes, flour and stuff won't have changed much though. There'll be a staple food still in space. Since Vandal eat people, does eating a Vandal count as cannibalism? No, it'd have to be. If you were a human eating a human, that'd be cannibalism. Effectively, it'd be cannibalism if a Vandal ate another Vandal, right? Because if a tiger ate someone, we wouldn't say it was a cannibal. It's just an interesting conversation about what eats what in Star Citizen. And Space Kittens. Okay, yep. Do you know when the Invictus Nurser will be going off sale? I believe it's the last week of its sale. Bear with me. Invictus launch week showcased some incredible ships this year, but the excitement doesn't stop there. Let me bring this up on in the browser for you, so you can see it. Invictus launch week showcased some incredible ships this year. The excitement doesn't stop there. You can still secure these vessels that stole the show. Don't miss out. I don't know when. So this was sent the other day. This was sent on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. So I'd say another week, probably. But yeah, they should be on sale for another week. So the Firebird, the Tractor, the Medivac, the Retaliator, updated Retaliator, and the Ironclad, which is concept. We haven't got a precise date for it, but I'd say a week. I'd say they're probably going off sale by next Monday. Do you think Alien Week will wait for cargo elevators, or will cargo elevators wait for Alien Week? Alien Week's going to be irrelevant to all of the patches, as far as I'm aware, unless they've got a straight-to-flyable alien ship that they want to release 3.23.1a with. So Alien Week should be starting on the 17th. The International Bar Citizen Weekend is on the 15th. But the Alien Week should start on the 17th, I believe. Stuff that you can expect for Alien Week: alien ship sale, lots of alien ships, potentially a new ship or vehicle, sort of the Fat Fury or something like that, maybe. Any word from CIG on when they expect 4.0 to go to PTU? No. The rough expectation is that 4.0 will be... CIG are aiming for close to live by the end of September, end of summer. We'll have to wait and see whether or not they can sort of hit near that target. I got into this game about 2 months ago when Summit started playing. They had a lot of communication on updates and progress, but the past 3 weeks it seems silent treatment is normal. Comes in waves. At the moment, CIG are pushing towards a big cargo patch, which will be out real soon. There's also XenoThreat and a 3.03.1a patch they're working on. So at the moment, we're in hiatus period, where they've sort of getting ready for the new season of Star Citizen shows and news, which starts properly again on the 20th of June. So yes, sometimes there is a bit of a lull period where we're waiting between patches while they're getting stuff fixed or hot fixed, while there's an event about to start. But you had Fleet Week, which is sort of just ended. We're waiting on a 3.23.1a patch with a XenoThreat major dynamic event, which is a big event, which will happen real soon. Should be this week. Let's hope that that's the case. And then they've got the big cargo patch, which is happening real soon as well. 3.23.2, and then it's 4.0 by the end of summer, by the end of September is the sort of rough expectation, though it might be moving more into October and CitizenCon time. Cargo change next month at earliest. It's not Evo, right? It's probably going to go to Evo today, or today or tomorrow, probably. Most likely it'll be cargo patch early sort of July. We don't know. Obviously, it's been in the oven for a while, and it was almost ready for 3.23 sort of cycle, initial release, I should say, but wasn't quite. They needed to get some stuff done, so it's had a bit of time in the oven to cook, is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm very rambly today. I'm very tired. Sorry, I apologise if I'm just ranting. Plastic Death, thank you so much for that donation. That is genuinely appreciated. I like money. That's number one. And number two, I like you because you give me money. No, it's super appreciated at the moment as well. Moving house and everything's super expensive. I know it's going effectively to BoredGamer and to pay me in Zin, but you know, she supported me in moving house. Probably. I think she wanted a day off. I think she was like, "Do I get a day off? Because you'll move on that day. You're moving." I was like, "No. I'm going to be working as soon as I get to my new place without a desk. I'm going to be on the floor with my computer trying to do some work." Hope moving goes well. Sorry. Let me read what Plastic Death said. I caught the beginning. F yeah. Chances of Fatter going modular like the Slimline Diet version. So, we haven't heard anything about modularity for the Drake Ironclad, which is that new freighter / assault freighter. So, I wouldn't expect additional modularity for it. I do think you'll obviously be able to have a good level of customization with components and stuff. I do think there's going to be lots of stuff that you can put in ships effectively cargo items or things that just fit on the ground in a ship that will give it additional functionality. And obviously there are things like the Nursa, the Ursa Medivac, which you can put in a ship to effectively give it a respawn point now. That caterpillar is going to be exceptionally modular is the idea. So just bear that sort of in mind. Thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate it. And J Birdmax, thank you very much for being a fantastic moderator, but also supporting the channel by using the join button under the videos or the live streams. Hope your moving goes well and smoothly as moving can. Would help if I were nearby. Be careful, buddy. Appreciate it. Very kind. I don't think I need any help. I've paid for all the help I need. My friends are sort of offering that are nearby where I live currently and where I am going to be living. I think I'm pretty good. I might, on the day I move in, go and get a temporary desk or something. Like, I've got a desk here that I use for a painting table, which I could take with me. I'd have to disassemble it. Realistically, I'd have to disassemble it. Maybe I wouldn't have to disassemble it. It's not particularly big. I reckon I could get down the stairs. I'll have a think. Yes, it should be going... should be not too difficult to move, hopefully, question mark. Oh. Do you think we'll ever get an ATC contact like we had at Levski? Is it Aaron Miller? What was his name? Like Eskin Miller? Something like that. So, yes, I expect there to be some ATC communication to be on a camera and them talking to you. Some of it just be audio and landing. I think there'll be a mix. As someone rooting for exploration gameplay, do you have any fresh insight or opinion on when/how we may expect to see the first iterations of scanning and general gameplay loops? Thanks. So, obviously, a while ago, we had the Tessa Bannister missions, and they're sort of seem an evolved version of them for some more scanny type missions going out. So, exploration missions and general scanning and exploration in general is going to be loads and loads of little components tied together in including just a more interesting, expansive gameplay area. And that will sort of allow for exploration. So, and that includes things like science and surveying. So surveying land and selling that to people that want to build bases or want to exploit materials, minerals there. Finding and scanning for things out in the verse. You do a scan, you find a wreck. That can effectively become a mission for a player. You sell those locations. You can have missions to go out and find loads of wrecks. You can have missions to go out and scan for creatures, to go out and explore and get readings on an area, to survey and find things. But really just having a large gameplay area and then loads of content in it, and then the ability to share locations and sell locations and set waypoints, then just allows you to do exploration, right? And then they just sort of scale it up with more and more little bits there. Now, you'll have more exploration gameplay in 4.0. Like, there'll be a load to look around. There's a new whole system, and it's a massive system, Pyro. A load of stuff to look at. But they keep on adding more and more and more and more and more and more to that, which is then where you get your actual sort of exploration gameplay loop when you've got a load more of it. But it does include science. It does include base building. It does include a load of other stuff as well. So you'll get it little by little, then you'll realise you'll have a lot. Can you make Manchester this weekend, or are you moving house? I'm moving, so it's very unlikely. I was umming and ahhing whether I could try and get down, but it's very unlikely. It's like a couple of days before I actually move. Will the Spartan fit on the Polaris? Don't know until we actually have the Polaris. I'm trying to work out how it would get in. Does it have a cargo elevator to any describable size? I can't remember the Polaris. Obviously, if you could get it in through the roof, yeah. So 3.23.2, probably EVA Cardi later today. Do we know how long cargo contracts... do we know how long the cargo contracts gameplay has been delayed? So, it's not been delayed by any meaningful stance or anything. So, obviously lots of people thought it was going to be delayed because of 3.23.1a and XenoThreat not being out yet. I think any delay is purely coincidental, and 3.23.2 just wasn't ready for going to Evo yet. So expect it to go into Evo Carti probably this week, and then we'll know from there how long it's going to be before, sort of really roughly, before it's going to be on the live servers. So it is a fundamental change to cargo and affects a huge range of systems in Star Citizen, but they've had it for a while in the dev branch, and it's going to be based on whether it causes problems to the game implementing it, whether or not it goes to live in a couple of weeks or a month and a half or whatever, right? Get an Invictus jacket with the nurse. I didn't get one with mine. I can't remember. Hey, board greetings from Ireland. When do you expect us to receive the XenoThreat armor in our inventory? The XenoThreat armor you will get if you also complete the Phase 6 of XenoThreat. So you need to complete the XenoThreat dynamic event, which is yet to go live. I've been thinking about exploration a lot. It would be great if CIG started adding a load more locations and wonders without informing us so we could find them ourselves. That will be a thing that will start to happen, right? Because they're adding stuff little by little, and they're sharing development information of everything. It's hard to get stuff past the backers, and that stuff will go into, let's go into test it in the PTU. Well, a lot of people go and just record and find these new things immediately. Bam. Has dogfighting PvE gotten more difficult, or do I just suck now because I'm trying to fight the way I did before Master Modes? It's different. I find it a load easier. Like, loads easier. It does depend on the ship that you're using, obviously. It might be just because you're trying to fight in a different way. AI fight weird and sort of do weird strafing maneuvers and things. It's certainly not... It's not ready for primetime Mastermaids, but they need to put it in the spotlight to get it for where it needs to go. Right? So they need to have it in the live builds because they want people to be forced to use it so that you give feedback and that they can get it into a good place. Do you think we could see roads before or after 4.0? During the 4.0 cycle, or during the 4.x cycle, yeah. There'll be short-ranged roads, yes. But you're talking about sort of like planetary roads and like in the same vein as rivers, right? Yeah, it's at some point during the 4.x cycle. Okay, a real one this time. So, do you know if they'll stop selling the Hornet? They stop selling the Hornets in game now, or does that mean there'll never be a ship wipe again, or not at least for the F7C ships? Okay, so if you buy Hornet So people don't know, the Hornet F7C and F7 Mark 1 series, the whole series, is getting removed from in-game shops and removed from the RSI website to be purchasable. It is still going to be a ship that exists in-game, that is flyable. If you've got one, you'll be able to fly it. It will get gold standard passes and balance passes and stuff like that as well. There will be a way of getting them in-game eventually in some way. That might be playing Squadron 42 and or having enough reputation with the UAE military or something like that. But you'll be able to get them in game in some way in the future. But they're removing them from in-game shops for now and from the website. They're depreciating them. If you buy one in game, when there is a wipe, you will no longer have that if you've bought it in game. Obviously, if you bought real money, you'll have it. Bam. Still when there's been a reset. But yeah, that will get reset. Bear that in mind. If you bought it in game, it will be going at some point. Until there's no more resets, which is far off in the future. Probably with a 1.0 full release, that's when they'll have the final reset. So just bear that in mind. Do I have to pay real money to ensure I keep my F7C going forward? You will be able to get it in-game in other ways. You will be able to get it in-game. And you also be able to buy it off other players with in-game money. But obviously that might be at a premium. But you will be able to get in-game in other ways. So you do not need to spend real money on that ship. Any updates to Vulcan? It runs great, but fills my shader cache fast. Yeah, I know, right? So, expect updates to Vulcan in 3.23.2 and a bigger update in 4.0. Should be in a significantly better state for 4.0. It's they're ironing out, they're optimizing it. It's getting there. It's not something I'm going to be using until potentially 4.0. I love the fact it's working great for a load of people, though. Do I need tickets to attend the Manchester Bar Citizen? I don't believe so. Let me have a quick look. I don't believe so. In addition to these locations, we'll be at International Bar Citizen weekend with events near our studios. I don't believe you need tickets. Should be okay. You should be good. I will link that for you. There you go. Do not believe so. Oh, thank you very much, JBad, for linking the buyback token schedule. So the next schedule is July 8th. July 8th for the next buyback token. Thank you. I always forget about that. Do you think the dub bug broke the current economy? The duplication, gotcha. And performance due to abandoned ships. How would you fix it? How would I fix it? I'd ask someone on the team to fix it. If I was working at CIG, I wouldn't be able to fix it. They'll have mini wipes and they'll be fixing stuff with database. They've been optimizing stuff. We know that for 3.23.2, they've fixed a couple of the exploits. So, do they need to have another mini wipe to make it fair? Oh, I don't know. What's your favorite pizza? So, okay, I used to be a snob. There's a really nice stone-baked pizza, stone-baked sourdough pizza place near me, which does fantastic pizzas. However, recently, over the last 3 months, I've had a couple of carbonara Domino's pizzas, which I just really like. It's as filthy, dirty comfort food. Fantastic, really nice. I like pizza typically without sort of pizza sauce on. I like garlic butter instead, things like that. Oh. Plus, there's a side loading ramp if you go on quickly. I can't. Does it? It'll be able to load cargo. It's a big ship. I just don't know if it's going to be able to load large-scale vehicles. I don't think it's going to be able to get a something like a ballista or any of those Atlas chassis on. What do you think's holding up drones besides the time of the devs? It's just time of the devs. Like, okay, so effectively, a drone, in my opinion, is a either tiny ship or a turret that you can remote onto, or sort of like a mixture of the two. And they're going to be using them for Squadron 42, and I think they're mostly done. They just need to ratify some stuff for them. Thank you so much. I appreciate that donation. Travel the map, you're a beautiful boy. Thank you so much. Do you think we will get roads in Pyro before Stanton? So I think there might be road networks as part of the distribution centres first. I think that's the sort of thing that will expand out to have roads as part of that, or roads as part of settlements, and maybe like a couple of settlements connected to each other, just sort of small scale, and then they'll have much more of the river generated or larger scale roads. And I think they can do them both in Pyro and Stanton similar times. I see what you mean with dirt roads, though. Dirt roads would fit into Pyro being a less infrastructure built system. You say porous system, but it's the same sort of thing. Bike gangs in Pyro sound awesome. Yes, wheeled bikes as well. That will be good fun. Thank you so much, Travel the Map. Thank you so much for the donation and the question. What else we got here? I need to... I don't see a lot of people talking about Freelancer much these days. Is it still a good ship? I'm on the fence between the Freelancer Max or the Zeus Mark II. So, I prefer the Zeus and the Cutlasses and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of the Freelancer sort of series of ships. Some people love them, though. A Freelancer Max is going to be a pretty solid cargo and multi-role ship, though. I like the look of the Zeus Mark II CL more. I haven't been doing anything with Evo. As far as I was aware, 3.23.2 Evo was not out. Unless I missed it, I have been busy, but I don't believe it is. That I will be playing around with cargo as soon as it's in my hands. If my ship has lifetime insurance, and I keep upgrading it, will I keep the lifetime insurance? Yes. Is there a limit to melting the ship for store credit? You can melt as many things as you want. When you melt it, you don't have the ship or the lifetime insurance or anything again. That's gone. You melt it. If you've got a package you're upgrading, you keep the insurance level of the package. And any additional items that aren't the hull of the ship, you just upgrade the hull of the ship, basically, in the package. Do you think the Nursa will fit in the Zeus Mark II ES? I don't know. I don't know what ships will fit in the Zeus. Or vehicles. I wouldn't expect so. Looking into the future, your thoughts on how CIG will handle Death of a Spaceman? Been a lot of opinions and observations on Spectrum. Some silly, some valid. What does the future hold? Death of a Spaceman is going to remain the same. Okay? By that, I mean that CIG want you to be concerned about your death. They want that to affect the way you play. That is effectively permadeath in the game if you keep on dying, and you'll accrue loads of damage to your character, and eventually you won't be able to regenerate anymore. And there might be ways of resetting your regeneration, or getting better clones, or having gene therapy and stuff like that. That's potentially expensive in game to do. But they do want permadeath to be a potential thing that can happen. And think of it more risk and reward as well. I think that if you're in more dangerous zones, or going to areas where there might be super valuable stuff, the risk is higher. So it's the sort of risk and reward thing that mainly they want to have there. Now, a lot of people talking about the tier 3 beds now, again, being able to resurrect you effectively. Just stuff like that might change, but there'll probably be costs associated with that. That might not be the safest option for your character's regeneration. It might only be temporary. It might not heal you fully. That might be very expensive to do with like resource cost. Might be like a long cooldown. Lots of stuff they can do to balance that out. But the other Spaceman, I don't think is changing that much. But they haven't ratified the actual mechanics of all of that yet. So sort of bear that in mind. They want Star Citizen it's not going to be super unforgiving. But it's going to be, reasonably so. I mean, you'll be able to get insurance on your stuff. I mean, if you do dumb stuff, expect dumb prizes. I don't expect it to be as unforgiving as Eve, but I do expect it. Say Eve's on the unforgiving scale. Say Eve's an 8. Yeah, I expect Star Citizen to be a 6. James Munnelly. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Do you think we'll eventually get ship body kits? So to change the overall look of ships. So there is supposed to be tunings, lots more tunings for ships and like racing ships and lots of stuff you can do to components. Whether that be for sort of whatever reason you want to tweak a component. There is supposed to be a much deeper level of customization for the external of your ship, whether or not that's going to be us being freeforms painting or just lots of customization within bounds and restrictions. We don't know. And we know the tech's there. We saw the tech many years ago. So I'm not sure if you'll get body kits, but you'll be able to customize your ship to a much higher level in the way it looks. Do the Reclaimer / Vulture need a rebalance? Yeah, well, all ships do. So expect some tweaks to salvage in 3.20, 3.2, and loads more in 4.0. But yeah, the Reclaimer should be a much larger scale version of the Vulture, kind of. You see what I mean? And yeah, that needs to be balanced appropriately. Do you think when dynamic server meshing comes, we'll have large ships as servers of their own? That is the potential for dynamic server meshing, yes. So dynamic server meshing, which is the server meshing with coming with 4.0, which they'll then need to refine. That's static server meshing, basically going, there's 5 servers running the Stanton system, and this is the area that each of those servers look after. One around this planet, one around this planet, one around this planet. Dynamic server meshing goes, any object container, be it a room, be it a whole building, be it a landing zone, be it a planet, be it a ship, can all become a server based on population of that object container, and those object containers can be nested, or those servers can be nested within each other and shut down and offloaded to another server as and when they're needed. So dynamic server meshing, fantastic, and potentially would allow individual ships, to be their own servers. And then obviously seamlessly pass the data between them. What's your favourite Spectrum idea that players have had that CIG should implement? Yeah, that's a tough one, because obviously lots of the stuff in Spectrum does get looked at and implemented by devs in some way. I don't know. I'm not sure. Can't think of anything recently beyond just general feedback on master modes and that sort of jazz. Wouldn't salvage missions to clean up around stations be nice? Yeah, and I expect you will get them. I expect there'll be more entry-level ones as well, where you literally go, like, clean-up team. Ones you could do almost entirely by hand as well, without a ship, maybe. So maybe you're on a station, and you don't have access to a ship, and you don't have any money to buy one, or rent one, or something. You need a load of missions that can scale up, that allow you to get into a position where you can buy or rent a ship. Do you see the ship team upgunning the Polaris Chin to a size 7? So they are upping the power of the Polaris's conventional turrets and weapons, because they want it to not just be a torpedo corvette. They want it to be, without any torpedoes, it would be a powerful combat threat in its own right. So bear that in mind. But I don't think they're going to get... I'm not sure how far they're going to upgun it. Reasonably, but it's not going to be like, it's not going to be a Perseus. Do you think CIG will have a booth at PAX West? They'll probably be walking around. They haven't announced a booth, as far as I'm aware. The Bar Citizen, you asked for a no ticket needed. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated, 3D Visualist. Bored, can you see my message? Probably. I've gone through everything backwards. So apologies for that. How many people do you think will buy a lot of F7s thinking they were able to sell them for a lot in several years? A good few people, a lot of people. So I know people, I've met people, I haven't seen them for ages, that were basically making huge amounts of money on the on the second-hand market. So selling ships on like Star Citizen trades and stuff like that. And they prospect like that. I suppose the safe way of doing it, right, is buying a load of F7C upgrades, right, for a ship that is commonly available, and let's go, well, I'll just buy the upgrade to the F7C from this ship for the Mark 1s, right? You could sell them if you wanted to in the future. Hashtag Star Citizen trade tips. How are they going to balance flying a fighter with the complexity of engineering gameplay? So, fighters, you're not going to be able to do the engineering gameplay in the same sort of way. Still going to have all of the circuitry and the damage and the attrition damage. So that's going to be fighters, after a while, are going to lose functionality, and you're going to have to get out and fix them, or they need to go and land and be fixed. Then they're not going to have this sort of stamina, and because you have to leave the seat, that's going to be difficult, right? So they've still got that sort of level of gameplay. Obviously, in larger ships, you're going to have a crew and dedicated engineers running around fixing the stuff. But the engineering gameplay is really interesting because it basically adds attrition effectively to the way you fight, and stamina, and you have to think about your ship and how to deploy it. And if you're in lots of combat over a very short period of time, you might need to keep on going back for repairs, and like very like quick repairs. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. And we need proper darkness, night vision, thermal, and that sort of vision. So they are messing around with light enhancement, which is effectively night vision. You may get some other vision modes. Is there anything in Star Citizen that you would refuse to fly? No. I mean, I'd fly anything. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Reliant. I'm not a fan of the Aurora at the moment. Not a huge fan of the Nomad. There's those ships I'm just like. Is the Hornet Mark 1 really that great that we need to buy it before it goes off ships? No. But you just need a starter pack to play the game. You get everything else in game. You will be able to get it in game in the future. It's going out of the way of buying traditionally from shops in game and from the RSI website. It'll be much rarer and harder to get in game in the future, but it will be available to get in game in some way in the future. Well, persistence is really good. Do you think some locations should be cleaned up more often? Yes. Stations, social hubs, 100% should be cleaned up more often. I think that you should be fined if you litter. or it gives you a warning and then finds you if you don't pick it up. And potentially there should be jobs, again, little mini jobs for players to go up and pick up rubbish. Janitor the players. Is there a schedule for free fly events to have friends interested? So typically, when a new patch launches, new major patch, so with 4.0 and things Fleet Week and Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, CitizenCon, stuff like that. So no official schedule. But Fleet Week in May, which is just gone, with 4.0 launches, so sort of September time, potentially around CitizenCon / Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, so end of October and then end of November. They do others as well, like there's what is the name of it? Explorer thing. There's they have an initiative where they try and get players to teach other players and bring new players into the game. I can't remember what it's called. Literally melted out of my head, but that's typically got a free fly as well. They do a load over the years. Sort of, you have to be a bit vigilant though. Laser beam weapons for ships. Yeah, the Idris K, for example, is supposed to have a laser beam, and I believe they do want beamer weapons still. I'm doing well, thank you very much. From the mining or salvage loop? Oh, I prefer salvage. I like both. Board game for you and Zin and friends to consider. Palia? It's the best price for free to play. What? And the pay stuff is just skins. Think Zelda MMO and building a home village. I will have a look at that. Thank you. You are a start. Okay. I will check that out. That's exactly the sort of thing. I think we're playing Wildmender next, I think. There's a few other and I also think I saw We Were Here Friendship or something. The latest We Were Here game. Zin and I like sort of escape rooms and stuff like that. What do we got? Where am I? What's happening? I have a lot of love for Salty Mike. He's helped me out when I was very depressed. Obviously, we used to do Redacted podcasts and stuff like that together, and play and that sort of stuff a lot more. I know he's doing pretty well with his content. And I love the boy. But you don't need to love him. Has anything been said about escape pods for ships? Can we expect it by 4.0? So, can't expect it for 4.0. We know that the tech's sort of there now, and they're building detachable things for ships like the command pods for the Caterpillar and the Drake Ironclad. Expect it in the not too distant future, probably as part of 4.x. When can we expect 3.20, 3.2? Probably Ibukati, potentially today, but at some point this week. You know if the AI for sellers will be smart enough to give you an assortment of cargo containers that fill your ship, or will we have to segment by cargo in manageable pieces? So we're going to have a lot of ways of managing our cargo with freight elevators, and that's a good point. When we purchase, what cargo containers are we purchasing into? I'm assuming we're about to choose, but that's a really good question. Where do you find the complexity of base building to be if a survival game like Ark is extreme, or Fallout 76 is plot a structure that pairs? It's going to be, you've got Ark, say it's 10 for extreme, and Fallout is 1. It's going to be like a 3 at most complex for Star Citizen. It's not going to be too complex. But it's going to be not too total plop. but it's going to be probably quite close to it. You go, you need the materials, I need the blueprint, I need the correct factory, ship, or vehicle, or tools, whatever to build, and then it's here. So, in theory, a ship that started off as a single server can dynamically divide into 3 servers if there are too many people rushing in. Potentially per room, yes. So each of the rooms could become a server. So you have massive... If you have a javelin, and a group of 100 players run into one end of the ship, and there's another 100 in the other end, there could be 2 servers effectively on that javelin that are nested in another server. But they seamlessly share data, the idea. And you don't know that you're on multiple servers. When are we getting skateboards and showers and toilets? 4.0? What's the point of releasing the Polaris if it doesn't have a cap ship to fight? Well, the Idris and the Javelin are in game to fight. They're just not in players' hands in the same way. And the Idris will be released with Squadron 42. So bear that in mind. That's not too far away. And then a little bit after that, the Javelin for players. And the Polaris will be able to fight other Polarises, Polari. And its torpedoes are going to be good against large ships in general. Like the Hammerhead. Hammerhead might be quite good at shooting them down. What else have we got? Controversial idea. It is strange to me that the verse has large carriers and somewhat militarized fleet based that small and medium fighters ships have long distance quantum capability, whereas just small and medium ships, fighters specifically, have reduced quantum ranges. Yes, so it is important that small ships, and especially fighters, sort of smaller, especially light and medium fighters, have very limited range, so that they need to be deployed in carriers, or to a degree, right? So they burn a lot of fuel and things like that. Is probably the way I'd do it, because fuel will be very much your ship's power will burn fuel. Using power will burn fuel in the future. So bear that in mind. Alien Week, expect it to start on the 17th. So next Monday is most likely the start of Alien Week. It could be starting at the very end of this week, but I'd expect it next week. There's going to be a bar citizen on the 15th, an international bar citizen, just all around the world. There's other unofficial ones as well. But as first contact day, I believe it's on the 17th. I would expect it to start on the 17th. Oh, it's the Founders Festival. Thank you. That's what I was talking about earlier with potential free fly and the thing that the festival gets people into the game and everyone teaches each other. And thanks for the info. I backed in 2014. Been following the game since then. I've been listening to you when I started and also Redacted podcasts. I missed quite a lot sometimes. Oh, that's very appreciated. Thank you very much for the kind words. Genuinely. Freight lovers will have to remove prospect bags full of ore and put them in elevators in order to get them to the refinery. I believe so. You'll be able to get those and buy those prospect bags as well. I think you already can, actually. But yes, they'll almost certainly be required to be put into storage in an area before you can send it up to the refinery. I believe that will be part of 3.20, 3.2. Not 100% on that, but 90%. So, Avenger Titan, I think it's my favourite sort of starting tier ship. It's sort of reasonably good as a little fighter. Great little mission runner. It's got cargo space. It's got room for a smaller little bike or whatever. Just absolutely love it. Chris is just checking to see if I've got any hair anywhere. Should the AI for NPCs be working better with the first wave of server meshing with 4.0? Maybe. We'll wait and see. I think server meshing, especially during Ivacati and PTU phase, is going to cause more problems than it's going to fix. By the time it comes to live, it could be have AI and servers in a really good state. There's always the possibility of a 3.18 situation with the first implementation of that tech. What is the largest ship that you think will be viable for solo players after engineering exists? So in the future, you will be able to get AI blades, which will be able to semi-automate turrets, or automate turrets and semi-automate some functions of your ship. And obviously NPC crew you'll be able to hire. So in that regard, anyone can solo any ship with those caveats of potentially you need to hire crew or you need to use AI blades or both. So if you are going to fully solo a ship, any salvage and mining ships and cargo ships, you could probably get away with soloing. However, things are going to degrade. You might need to run around and do some fuse changes. As soon as you're in combat with a ship, that is dangerous in larger ships, just because if you lose a fuse in a key area or a key component, then you will be just out of power, dead in the water. Yeah, the saddlebags, Bible now just unable to equip them from the vehicle menu. Got you. That makes sense. Baba Yaga, thank you so much. I loves you and money. Thank you. That's appreciated. Cheers to you. Thank you very much, Baba Yaga. I appreciate the donation. You beautiful boy. Also, Benny J, thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships. I say thank you very much. Obviously, the people that got them, I mean, they should be thanking you and me for giving such great content and free stuff. No, genuinely, thank you very much. That's appreciated. And Sin and I will be dropping more exclusive content on the for the members, and having some more polls and stuff. I will also be showing off some of the new house and studio, and we'll see what I actually build with that, because I haven't got proper plans for it. So you'll see how it evolves. But genuinely, thank you. That's very appreciated. So I think, okay, with larger ships, like with the Idris and the Javelin and all that sort of stuff, I do think the crew count that is required for them to function well is a bit reduced compared to what originally was thought. So I do think you're going to be able to run like an Idris pretty well with like 15 to 20 people. I think like a Javelin, I think maybe like 25 people, you'll probably be able to run that ship pretty well. And you probably need less. I mean, you're probably talking like maybe even less than 15 for an Idris to run it pretty well. Maybe like only 15 to 20 for for a Javelin. If you look at the sort of stuff you actually need to get done, and that people being able to effectively multi-role, even when you were using all your turrets in those ships, you've already got people that can run around. Now, if you want to bring guards and a full complement of engineers and all that sort of stuff, it's a little more. Thank you so much. I appreciate that donation as well. Harry Cormer. How about Alien Week? Question mark. So, expect Alien Week to start on the 17th, because that's when the first contact day is. Although there is stuff happening this weekend for the International Bar Citizen, and if you attend any of those CIG Bar Citizen official events, then you will have a chance to pick up that new Xi'an Pyramid item, which is this, I believe. That little Xi'an Pyramid. You'll get a little scratchy card code for. But expect Alien Week starting 17th, because that's when the first contact day is. That's not a confirmation, but that's an expectation. They could start this week, but I don't think they will. And there'll be an alien ship sale. So things like the Raylan, stuff like that go on sale. You might see a new straight to flyable or concept ship or vehicle, maybe the Fat Fury, something like that. There'll be some alien stuff to get involved with, like translations, some form of alien screenshot competition, stuff like that as well. You might see a mode in Arena Commander which is just alien weapons or just alien ships or something like that. Do you think we'll actually see ships like the Kraken, Idris, and Javelin much in their intended purpose as large-scale combat carriers? Yeah, so 100% for generated missions, taking out Krakens that are pirate bases and things like that. Yes, I think that's bread and butter for Star Citizen for sort of creating mission content. Do you think they'll just be glorified cargo holders? For some, they will be, yeah. Some people will use them as glorified cargo holders. Most groups that I know that own these ships aren't anywhere near close to being big enough to really crew them. So AI crew, AI blade, stuff like that will help. I do think, as I said, that the crew complement for those sort of ships is going to be smaller than you think. I mean, maybe you can get away with like running an Idris well with like 10 people. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But I'm talking about if you want to like fill all the turrets and that sort of stuff. And then if you got AI blades, I'd be able to even have a small amount. And an NPC crew. So, obviously, there's been talk about like, Mirai Heavy Fighter, the Fat Fury, that sort of stuff. Obviously, you see it in the sort of background of these pictures, the Fat Fury, whatever. Potentially for Alien Week. Might not be ready, though. I mean, so Mirai and often stuff like that are, from Mirai, are hybrid. So they're sort of alien-human hybrid stuff, which sort of falls around Alien Week, maybe, at a stretch. I hope we have a Horde Xenomorph, sort of Xenomorph alien mode. So, Clan Imperium are building an FPS Horde mode, which I think is going to be humans, pirates, in a similar vein to Vandal Swarm or Pirate Swarm, but for FPS. Potentially that will turn up in 4.0. I like the idea of having it with just alien creatures and xenomorph-esque creatures or whatever. I think that's a cool idea. A friend of mine and I dropped into a settlement on Microtech on a bounty and shot a man in the street and stole his armor. Are we the bad guys? Showing up. So, I mean, if it's for a bounty, that's fine, right? You're on a bounty. You're the good guys. I mean, I like the fact you robbed him as well. Confiscated his loot, right? I think that should be part of bounties. They should say, oh, and as part of the bounty contract, you can take whatever you want from his body, as long as it's not a stolen item, right? So, obviously, so that means that they can't go quickly steal something and you as an exploit then kill them and take that item. So it goes, well, you have to turn in stolen items, but obviously their armor and stuff, as long as it's not stolen, you can keep. Yeah? The Orion's massive. We don't have any more information on the Orion at the moment, but it's a massive mining ship. It's got ridiculously huge. That's going to need a lot of people to... So, that's an interesting one, right? You could probably run it with one person, just mining it. Just be, if you have any problems or you want to do any of its functions fully, you're going to need more help. It's a massive strip miner. Hello. Thank you very much for the kind words from everyone. Genuinely appreciated. And thank you very much for the donations and stuff. Like, legendary. Hi, Corma, as well. Genuinely appreciated. You do not need to send me donations or anything like that to get questions read out. I will try and come to all the questions that I see in the stream. It's content for me. However, people that who pay those sort of... who donate or whatever, I will read out as soon as I see those donated things. They ping up. They highlighted for me. I will give them some additional highlighting because they pay me money. It's just sensible, right? How do you feel about CIG making a free-to-play crew class where people can play for free but have to buy a pilot license game package to fly a ship? Okay. So I like the idea that they make Arena Commander free. something like that, or make it free as part of Squadron 42. Go and you get Arena Commander and play starters as multiplayer, but you can't play in the persistent universe. I kind of like the idea of yes, you can play Star Citizen for free, but you can only crew. I like that idea. We get a lot of people playing the game, right? But then they don't have. No, there'd be too many problems with it. Free accounts always lead to weird cheating and exploiting and things like that, and people don't feel tied to the rules of the game in the same way. You see CIG adding buffs to mod cruise ships for fully manned ship to entice group play. So there's going to be features of ships like sharing scanning data and how many of your turrets are currently firing at a target and stuff like that will make multi-crew sort of gunnery and coordination a lot more viable and easier with them. So and those multi-crew ships are going to be really tanky. They're going to have sort of buffs effectively to the turrets. Have you ever thought about the bounty system right now? We are the bad guys. So the bounty hunter's going to get a real big update as well. You're not the bad guy if you're a bounty hunter. You're fine. You're good. Good people. We need the ability to bring people in alive as well. That would be useful. Yeah, I really like. I do think actually bounty hunting might be part of 4.0 or soon after. That's sort of bounty hunting 2.0. Right. I am going to find someone else that is streaming. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to see who else is online. And then we'll have a bit of a wrap up. Oh, I'll send you over to Ollie. He's a beautiful boy. He's a good chap. He makes quite pretty Star Citizen videos. He very much enjoys playing. He's pretty hype about the game. He's a good lad. Give him some love. Can I? Yeah. Hopefully you'll be able to. You can chat if you're a follower. Okay, it warned me that you can only chat there if you're a subscriber or a follower to him. I was like, what? Sub to him? Oh no, you can just follow. Okay. Right, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Genuinely appreciate it. I'm expecting 3.23.2 to go to Eva Carty later this week, potentially even today. 3.23.1 and XenoThreat, again, probably live some point this week with XenoThreat running. So the A patch, potentially live like tomorrow. There's some stuff that they were trying to solve, which I think they were pretty close to going, that will do, sort of level. And then sort of getting XenoThreat out. I would expect by the end of the week as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Like this stuff, I was expecting like a week. I was expecting originally before Fleet Week. So Din's pretty good at going. Actually, I don't think they're going to be able to get it out until after Fleet Week and stuff like that. So she's pretty oracled for this sort of stuff. Anyway, there will be a video, a podcast out later today. Zin and I chatting about us playing Planet Crafter. But lots of Star Citizen and stuff, including does the Javelin come stripped or something of all its gear? Probably not. I'm talking a bit about master modes and ship updates and that sort of stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. You have a great day. Love you loads. Peace out. Have a great